No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not those of the host. Discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Smackin' Raw podcast, episode 249. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden, Matt Ritter. And if you are watching us on YouTube or on Pornhub, you see the beautiful accoutrement of other podcasters I have brought along with me. First and foremost, she is the shaman of She-Leet, the host of the She-Leet Showcase. I'm sorry, I wasn't going to do that. I was going to let Reek do that. I forgot. I got all excited and I got my thing. So, Reek, would you please let me introduce Reek from Young Kings Wrestling. He is host of the Havoc Hour and good friend of the show, Dr. Reek Baker, BBC.
Oh, I forget. Every time I come here, I forget.
Every time.
Oh, man. So I'm going to introduce. Okay.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Smackin' Raw podcast, we present to you the hardest working woman in podcasting today, in wrestling podcasting, the shaman of She-Leet, the one and only my client, the emancipated Miss Katie Kinsey Bebe.
Who is now tied with Vince at 16 apiece for the race of Pornhub Poppy. But I didn't just bring Reek and Katie, who you know and love and have seen a million times, fresh face to the podcast and good friend of the podcast for a very long time, or at least until I started giving him shit about Toxic Attraction. From the Just in Time podcast, it's Justin, guys.
What up? Happy to make my hub debut and to meet Reek and Katie as well.
Yeah, because we have a lot of interactions with you on Twitter, but I am the only one that has had the pleasure of being on a show with you and making you laugh. So now I get to host a show with you and everyone gets to make you laugh.
Fantastic.
Strapped
in, ready to go.
I'm going to do this right off the bat. Today, the Supreme Court overruled Roe v. Wade. And if you have been listening to this podcast, you know that we are pro Black Lives Matter and we are pro-choice. We have pro wrestling, pro-choice t-shirts. That is where we stand. That is the line we draw. And I have no idea why you'd be listening to this podcast if you did not understand or realize that. It should be no surprise to you. What this means is that it is no longer a federally protected women's right to choose whether or not she can have an abortion. That means that the states will now choose whether it is okay for a woman to have an abortion, regardless of if she is the victim of a sexual assault or rape, if the baby is born out of incest, if there is a birth defect, or if it is dangerous and could possibly kill the mother. It will be the state's right to decide, as well as they may be trying to incarcerate a woman, a doctor, or medical professional who facilitates an abortion for a woman. We lost Reek. He may come back. We'll see. Along with that, one of the justices also tried to propose that we ban gay relationships, same-sex relationships, same-sex marriages, and contraceptives. And I know all of you Christians are listening to that and thinking, oh, this sounds great. That sounds like what I read in the Bible, which, by the way, your Bible's bullshit. Neither here nor there. What this is all about, if you haven't figured it out, is population control and money. They are trying to force women to have relationships. Reek's laptop just shut off, so he will be figuring that out and coming back. They're trying to force women to have same-sex relationships and produce children so that they have taxpayers to fuel the economy. That is all this is about. They don't give a fuck about you, your religion, your religious rights, anything like that. They are trying to make sure that right now in the US, who we have the lowest birth rates we've had in fucking forever, they can force women into having these things. That's why you take away condoms and Reek's back. That is why you take away condoms and birth control. That is why you take away a woman's right to have an abortion. That is why you take away same-sex marriages and same-sex relationships and try to make them illegal, because then the only thing legal is a relationship between a man and a woman, and the only product of that could be birth of more children. And they don't give a fuck about those children once they are born. If they did, they'd do something about the formula shortage. If they did, they do something to protect those children when they are in school, even though we have mass shootings. As a matter of fact, they doubled down on their gun policies by making it federally protected to have the right to conceal and carry, yet took away a woman's federally protected right to body autonomy. Guns essentially have more rights in the United States of America than women do. And there are people cheering and applauding this. And it makes me sick. I'm not even going to sit here and ask you guys to go buy our wrestling pro-choice t-shirts, because that's not what it's about. It's not buying our merch. The money does go to a good cause. And if you do want to support that cause, please do. I am donating the money to the Women's Reproductive Rights Assistance Project. Katie, who is selling the same shirt, is donating that money to Planned Parenthood. I ask that if you have the money to donate, please donate to any local Planned Parenthood or Women's Reproductive Assistance Project organization or anything in your town, so that women have access to safe healthcare and safe medical needs in these situations, so that they're not having back alley abortions and the things that are going to result from this. So if you don't buy shirts from us, please donate to something locally to help women in your area to have access to safe medical health care in these situations. That's what I ask. And if you do want to support us and you do want to go buy the shirt, I'm not keeping any of the money of it. I don't see any of the money anyway. It's all getting donated for that reason, to help these women. So that is where we stand on it. It's fucking bullshit. I have a daughter. I have a wife. And one last thing, being pro-choice doesn't necessarily mean you're pro-abortion. You can be against abortion, but understand that it is each individual woman's right to have that choice. And if you want to stand on your religious pillar, you should also realize that, hey, God gave us all free will to make our own decisions. So it should not be a government or a state's place to take away our God-given free will, or a woman's God-given free will to make choices for herself. If you want to stand on that religious pedestal, realize that the only person that should be judging these women and their actions and why they did them would be your God, if that is what you believe. Not you, not the government, not anyone else. So you shouldn't have a fucking say. It's their choice, given to them by God. So there you go. You guys have anything to add to that?
I don't. You pretty much took anything I was going to say, but I think if anyone would, it would be Katie. So take it away.
See, I hate being a woman, specifically in the United States. I have no rights as As a bisexual woman, I will also have no rights soon, probably. It's terrible. Like, they don't care. I also saw women cheering this, which absolutely blows my mind, because your fellow women are being affected and you don't care. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Being in the world now, I absolutely hate it. I've hated being a woman for a very long time because we get treated like shit. And now you're going to take away all the rights that I have. I'm done. I'm tired of fighting. It's fucking exhausting. And I don't know what to do. Because voting doesn't do anything. Protesting doesn't do anything. Guns have more rights than I do. So I'm pissed.
I will say voting in this case will, on a state level, affect
on a state
where you
level,
live.
yes, but not
So,
the Supreme
no.
Court.
Correct. But I do recommend that everyone with primaries and everything coming up, go out and vote for someone who is going to protect your right to an abortion in your state and elect that person in your state as well. I was a person who I guess he came back on his phone and then now he's coming back on his laptop. So Travis is going to be pissed, but that's neither here nor there. Go out and vote, plain and simple. And also, do not think that this will stop with women, because precedents like this can also be linked to people of color and taking their rights away as well, which again, we have Reek from the Young Kings Wrestling, and I would ask you to support any families GoFundMe's as Young Kings Wrestling does with those Black Lives Matter shirts. If you want to get a cool shirt and do it, you can go pick that up as well. But yeah, it's more than just women that are going to be affected by this. It is same-sex marriages and couples, whether it's gay men, lesbian women, bisexuals, trans, so on and so forth, as well as people of color. Everyone except for straight white males like myself really are being affected by this. And as a straight white cis male, I'm supportive that everyone should have their rights to be and love and exist the way that they want to. So
Absolutely.
you got anything, Justin?
No, you just said everything that I could have even possibly said. That was just it's just such a fucked up thing. It's so fucked up.
And that's why I have everyone here on, because I try to surround myself with people that share the same values and ideals that I share, and I try and block out all of the, well, I'll call it fucking idiots out there that exist that don't see the issues here with taking rights away from women, people of color, the LGBTQ community. But that is all for now. Again, if you would like to support us as well as a good cause, you can go check out at Katie Wrestling 13 or at Matt Ritter pin tweets. Also, YKWrestling.com for those Black Lives Matter shirts. You guys know the spiel. You guys have been listening. You know how all that goes. So I do ask that you do that. But if you don't do that, please go support a local organization or something that assists women. Let's get into news and rumors. I've only got two things, but Reek said he's got some new shit that just came out. So first and foremost, since we're already on a somber note, rest in peace to Tim White. He passed away right after Dave Hebner did. Obviously a staple of the Attitude Era. We saw the clips that he had where he was doing the things he was doing on WWE.com or WWF.com at the time. But also Hell in a Cell matches and just a huge part of the WWF Attitude Era and my childhood. So condolences to his family and rest in peace, Tim White. And then the last bit of news that I have is apparently Bruce Pritchard has been appointed John Laurinaitis' job. So Vince stepped down as CEO and Bruce is filling in talent relations. And the two guys that supposedly may or may not have done some very terrible, awful things and then paid money to cover it up. Consensual, awful things, as far as we know, and then paid $3 million to cover it up, are now taking leave of absences from their positions, and they have been filled by Stephanie and Bruce Pritchard.
Well, that is the perfect segue into what I've got. Because less than an hour ago, these two headlines came up. First and foremost, John Laurinaitis may be on his way out the door because, and I don't know why this is the main reason why it became the headline of the story. But, obviously his name was in a lot of these allegations too. Him and Vince supposedly were tag teaming on it. But it says that Laurinaitis' cell phone is shut off now. The numbers that he's had since 2001. So a lot of people have been telling the dirt sheets that this is a very bad sign for him. So might be on his way out because he's one of Vince's most trusted people behind the scenes.
Or Kathy killed him.
That's also possible too. I mean, I'm sure she, like everyone else, found out about this story and she's not happy about it. So
Linda seems fine. Linda's out tweeting fucking pro-choice bullshit or pro-life bullshit like nothing happened.
Upland,
but
right?
she ran as a pro-choice. You know, I'm not
Yeah,
not gonna,
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna. But the big one that came out is a former Louisiana Attorney General law firm. First of all, before we even got to today, about 7 different law firms have been investigating WWE for everything from these allegations to potential securities fraud, everything. But this one is launching an investigation into WWE for potential violation of some state or federal laws related to Saudi Arabia.
Ooh.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Let me see if I can pull this up here. So, a series of prior disappointing disclosures relating to its important yet deteriorating relationship with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and then there's a full press release about it here. But obviously, the whole thing about WWE and Saudi has been subject to a lot of criticism for a multitude of reasons, and now with an investigation going on, it's going to leave the door open for a lot worse. So I mean, it's not a good week in McMahon Mania land.
nope,
Yikes.
not at all. And that deteriorating relationship with Saudi Arabia might not have happened if they hadn't buried Mansoor. I mean, he was Saudi taker, so can't go burying your top Saudi talent. Expect them to be okay. Exactly. All right, Justin, you are our
Yes.
guest. Would you like to start with spits or swallows this week?
I say we do swallows first.
You want to go swallows first? What is your
Yes.
first swallow this week?
First swallow is Solo Sikoa Grayson Waller match on NXT.
Okay.
Big fan of Grayson Waller. Big fan of Solo Sikoa. Just perfect. It was awesome match.
I am looking.
I love Sola. I love Solo Sokoa, and fuck Grayson Waller. But
There we go.
I love
Yeah.
that everyone doesn't like him. I
He's a
came to
douchebag.
love Grayson Waller so much. And it's just
I-
like
I-
everybody hates him, and I just go, I love it. I love it.
I
I
said
love it.
I say this all the time. I'm like, I guess he's doing his job well because I hate him, but I
Mhm.
fucking hate him.
I just think he's really good. I just think he's so good. Like, I love watching. He's just such a good wrestler.
Waller won that match, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's definitely one of my spits.
It's a spit for me. Yep.
Yeah, I put that as a spit too, because that's just like, you had
There
this
it is.
whole thing where
I
it
found
seems like Solo was going for it like there, and it's just kind of like stopping his momentum. And it just feels kind of shitty.
I was really enjoying them just crushing any momentum that Waller had and building up Solo, and then they shifted gears on me, and I'm not happy about it. Solo should be challenging Braun for the title, or at the very least Carmelo Hayes.
Something.
I don't want to see Carmelo versus Waller. I don't want to see Braun versus Waller. Like, we need to put the gas pedal on Solo big time. Katie, what's your first swallow of the week?
The Fatal 5-Way on Raw. The
Okay.
women, specifically, Carmella, she won. I kind of hate that Carmella is like the consolation prize in Vegas, which kind of sucks because she's improved a lot. She's doing what she can. But I mean, she was also the only one not involved in a storyline, so it was kind of made sense that she would win the match. But I loved the match regardless, and like everything Becky and Asuka in that match and then their match later in the night, like those two are wrestling soulmates as of right now. Like Becky and Asuka, that's your stars right there.
It's really funny you phrase it that way, because literally my notes, it's the second thing in my notes, because the first thing in my notes actually didn't happen on Raw. It happened over the weekend in an indie show, but we'll get to that in a second. Opening up with consolation women's fatal 5-way to determine Bianca's next opponent. So I also looked at it as a consolation prize. Mella did get the win. She was the only woman in that match that was not in the Money in the Bank already or in a qualifier, so it made sense to put her over, seeing as they lost Rhea.
Which
We
is
got
a
more
spit, by the way. Pissed.
big spit there. We got more of that Alexa Liv chemistry that I absolutely love. They came out throwing shade at everyone, along with Carmella. So the promo before the match was fun. The match was fun. I've enjoyed, even though I don't know why we just have to keep doing multiple person women's 5 ways every, or 4 ways or 5 ways every week. They've been good, so I'm not going to knock it. I'm swallowing as well.
Take it.
Nothing, you guys?
So, I mean, it was this, Carmella winning is my first spit. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Well, you know how we do it. If you spit in Carmella, let's talk about it now.
So, you remember that line in Mean Girls? You know, trying to make fetch happen. Like this is fetch. Like, stop trying to make that happen. Like, we haven't seen Carmella in weeks, and I hate this trend that they do where it's like you disappear for so long, and then all of a sudden you jumped into a fucking title program. Like Jinder. Jinder was fired and then comes back and he's in the Dre runner up, and then all of a sudden he's in a title match. Like, I never have liked that. Like, I agree Carmella has improved, and I like to see that they're doing more things with her, but it's like, okay, our plans fell apart, so we insert Carmella. You had Alexa, you have Nikki that's not doing anything. I don't want to see Doudrop in any more potential title matches or contendership matches as long as Bianca is champion, because she's been whooping her ass at least once a month in 2021. So I don't want to see that no more. But you had options, and I don't feel like Carmella should have been at the top of that list. That's just me.
But all of those options are already in the Money in the Bank, and this match is happening at Money in the Bank. So either you pull a woman out of Money in the Bank and then you put Carmella in Money in the Bank, or you let Carmella go get squashed by Bianca, and then you continue with your planned match for SummerSlam with one of these women. And also, it's a huge tell who isn't going to win if you pull her out and put her in a singles title feud.
Yeah.
You already knew that person wasn't going to win. So,
in a perfect world, what I would have done was have Bianca issue an open challenge. And then you surprise the people in Vegas with
Bayley.
Let's hear it. There you go.
I mean, I still want Bayley to show up,
Some Bayley.
but after the
Like,
match.
she needs to stop playing. I know she's ready. She needs to stop trolling us.
She's been
So,
ready.
Justin, you wanted to spit Carmella too, right?
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Carmella, and it was just obvious that she was going in, and it just, the whole her not being on TV, same thing like Reek said. I just hate how she just goes off TV, comes back, and it's just like, let's just slide Carmella in here. Just no, doesn't do it for me.
Okay. My first swallow, since I'm going to go in a circle, so Reek will be last. Scarlett Bordeaux defeated Eddie Only in a bra and panties match and shoved a double-ended dildo up his ass at Indie Show Circle 6 Hope. And here's why. I have been on this show and multiple shows advocating for the fact that you can have two things. You can have attractive women in bra and panties matches as well as wrestling. And we have this now. Both things can exist. You don't need to have one or the other as long as it is consensual and something that the women want to do. And this is something that Scarlett wanted to do. And she did it in an intergender match, and she shoved a double-ended dildo up a dude's ass. This whole situation screams Matt Ritter. If she had dressed up as Freddy Krueger before she came out, I probably would have busted a nut just from the entrance. Like, there's nothing more Matt Ritter than this entire situation.
God
So,
damn it.
that is my very first swallow. I don't even know who the fuck Eddie Only is. I don't care. He's some guy that got a double-ended dildo up his ass over the weekend. And Scarlett fucked him up. She won the bra and panties match. That is my first swallow of the week. Do you guys have anything to add to that?
As soon as I saw that fucking clip, I knew you were going to die.
I did
The thing
too.
is,
I
he
felt it
said,
coming.
he told us this was coming, and I forgot
Oh, he
about
did.
that.
He did until he started. As soon as he said Scarlet, I was like, oh god.
Oh man.
People were
Look at that
talking about
shit-eating
my
grin, dude.
timeline,
He's
I
so
just
happy.
laughed.
Oh, so happy. It was it again. I have been an advocate that we can have both. It doesn't have to just be women wrestling. that there are women out there who embrace their bodies and embrace their sex appeal and want to do both, want to be somewhat divas, but also want to be women's wrestlers, and that there's a space in wrestling for both kinds of women. And we have gotten to a point to where the idea that we don't want divas at all anymore because WWE was so awful in forcing these women into situations that they didn't want to be in, that the women that were okay expressing this side of themselves or enjoyed expressing their sexuality and their beauty in this fashion were no longer allowed to exist. It just had to be straight up women's wrestlers. But you have men that do these gimmicks that no one has a problem with, until we talk about that Joey dude who made force people touch dick. But forcing people to touch your dick is never good. Val Venus, other characters have done things like this. It was okay for the men. It should be okay for the women. There should be a space for both. And if this is something Scarlett wants to do, I personally 100% support it. I would like to see more. If I find out about another one, I might actually buy an indie pay-per-view and watch it just for that. Especially if she's shoving double-ended dildos up guys' asses.
Oh my.
You're terrible.
Reek, what is your first swallow this week?
Oh man. So I'm gonna go with both Becky and KO's descent into madness because it's just entertaining as hell to watch. KO with these Ezekiel, Elias, the whole thing they got going on, and Elias showing up with the fake beard on. And it's like he at the end of that segment now he's talking about, I don't care who it is I face next week. If it's Ezekiel, if it's Elias, whoever shows up, I'm fighting them, I'm beating them. Like that whole thing, like KO does not miss in terms of being a pure sports entertainer. If there's a wrestler, he's got it, no question. But it's like everything that they give him, he just turns into gold. But Becky's has been like just. I said this on Young Kings with TC. It's like she's been mirroring Seth ever since she came back. It's like delving so far into that delusional heel, and now that she's lost the title, and it's been like just loss after loss after loss. And you got people all over the discourse complaining and bitching, moaning, "Oh, Becky's losing to Dana Brooke," and all sorts of like it's an angle. It's an angle. We're building to something. So the journey is going to be beautiful to watch. So you have to enjoy it. So I've been enjoying this shit out.
So would you say that if Seth Rollins is wrestling's Patrick Bateman, that Becky would be Rachel from American Psycho 2?
That's potentially. I mean, I've never been that big on like horror sequels because unless it's part of a franchise, because certain sequels they just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not making multiple movies at a time, that one that just has that one off, it doesn't really hit like that. So I don't know. It potentially.
I'm with you. I'm going to jump in on this and agree, but more so for the Elias Ezekiel stuff that we got with KO's Dissension. Yeah. Elias and Zeke being in the same room. Yes, we know it was a fake beard. Yes, we know they were the same person, but the way that WWE played this off was so fucking satisfying to me. Mm-hmm. They sat together, they talked, they shot it fantastically. He came out and performed with his stupid fucking fake beard. Then when KO came out to challenge him, he's got pre-recorded shit up on the Titantron. Then KO goes in the back after getting a guitar shot, and he's standing just outside of Gorilla, and Ezekiel hasn't come through, or Elias has not come through yet. And Ezekiel comes from the back, and KO just looks flabbergasted as if he just watched a magic trick and cannot figure out how the fuck it happened, but he knows it's not real. The whole fucking thing brought me so much joy on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, it's one of the best storylines on Raw. And now there's a potential Elrod, whoever that may be. I hope it's Damien Sandow. Just for fun. Because why the fuck not? Let's keep this going longer. It's one of the only good things about Raw is this feud storyline, whatever you want to call it.
I swallowed a lot of Raw actually this week. So
okay, in the past like month or so, this has been one of the best things.
You got anything down there, Justin, for KO, Ezekiel, Becky, Spitzer Swallows?
KO is the reason why I'm still kind of into this. Like I've been kind of like in and out on it. the entire time, but KO's keeping me in it because he's just fucking hysterical. Just the way he acts to all of it, it's just hilarious.
Every time I get out, they pull me back in. And that's how I feel. Every time I'm like, okay, it's over, I'm done, let's move on. They do something new, to your point, and I'm like, okay, it's cool again. Let's keep going.
That's Kevin Owens is gold for a reason.
Justin, what's your next swallow of the week?
I had Wesley's promo on NXT. I thought that was awesome. Just the fact that he's even bringing up Nash Carter, even though he's not name dropping, but just bringing it up. Awesome. It makes you want to root for Wesley, just how he's in his feelings right now. Just like, my best friend's gone and I'm struggling to get through this here, but he's willing to just keep fighting through it. So, and I love Wesley. Guy's fantastic. So I know you don't like him because Matt's shitty kids. We get it.
Well,
Shitty orphan now.
So actually, I'm swallowing that whole segment. I'm swallowing Wesley and Trick Williams. I do appreciate the fact that NXT allowed him to address the downfall of Matt's shitty kids, even though they wouldn't let him say his best friend's name on TV. But more so, what put this over the top as a swallow for me was Trick Williams telling him, quit crying or I'm going to do to Wes like the rest of his friends did and just leave.
So fucked.
Because the way he left that segment, I was like, God damn. Because it's not just Nash Carter. It's that other dude from Impact that people like that I can't remember his fucking name that was part of
Trey Miguel.
That
Trey
one
Miguel.
there. Him, yeah. The better one of the three that didn't show up at NXT. I just say that to piss off Vince. So if he listens back, he'll be like, fuck you.
Oh yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Like, it's good to see that he's not just doing the happy-go-lucky thing as a face, like he's showing that edge. And I think if anyone was good enough to get that side out of him, it was Trick, because that his clapback was, listen, you playing second fiddle to your man. So I mean, that's where he started, kind of really digging. So I think this is going to be pretty dope. So I had that right on my list too. It definitely a swallow for me.
I mean, I haven't been crazy for Trick Williams, but I love the one line he did when he had him and Carmella had the interaction with Tony and the family, when he was like, I don't care if you're 2 dimes, 20 nickels, 100 pennies. And I was just like, that's fucking hysterical.
We don't disrespect the family on this podcast.
Oh, it's in my swallows. It's in my swallows.
Yeah. Anyway, Katie, what is your next swallow?
One of the only female tag teams in NXT who should be fucking champions by now, formerly known as Team Ninja, whatever the fuck you want to call them now, Kaden and Katana. It's some shit that they haven't gotten titles. It's like the Riot Squad all over again. It's like, that's the team you want to root for. And like I said, that's been the only female tag team in NXT for the longest time. And now they're gonna have this match against fucking Cora and Roxanne. They're probably gonna lose, and then they're never gonna get a chance. And it just kind of makes me salty because I love them. And the back and forth they had with Cora and Roxanne. I just like women's wrestling. So,
and I've got that in my swallows too. Toxic Attractions promo. The fact that Cora and Roxanne did what I said they should have done and used that for the tag titles. And I have made the distinction, and I can't wait to hear TC because I know he said some shit. The winning the Dusty Cup does not and will not ever be justification for a singles championship. However, the stipulation of the breakout tournament is to challenge for a championship. It does not stipulate which championship. The Dusty Cup is always stipulated for tag team titles because it is a tag team tournament. We saw Carmella go for the North American title, not the NXT championship. And with those 3 women, Roxanne and Cora make the most sense as a tag team, with Indy going after Mandy for that world title in that feud. That's what makes the most sense to me. So I was happy that happened. I was happy to see Team Ninjas not just like, oh, we lost and we're going to go back to doing drugs and hanging out at country concerts with the new NXT UK tag team champions, Brooks and Dunn. Because
It literally came out of nowhere.
But actually came out and they're being involved in a tag team feud, continuing to utilize women's tag teams, which is something that the main roster just fucking gave up on completely.
Yeah. Them titles are gone. They just forget about it.
Oh yeah.
I gave up on whatever we're calling them nowadays. I gave up on it after In Your House when they didn't win. I said I give up because I've been saying it for almost a year, maybe a year, that they're the best tag team that the entire company has right now in terms of the women, and you just getting them right there just to lose every single time. I said before, Toxic Attraction don't need all the gold no more. That period of, you know, their faction, the height of their faction, they had that period of time. They had all the gold. They don't need it anymore. So, I mean, Mandy can stay champion until you get Cora, which I think is the overall where they want to go. But the rest of them don't need to have them. Like, you don't need that.
I don't agree with that anymore as far as Cora. I honestly think if any one of those three beats Mandy and it's not Indy, it's going to be Roxanne. I feel like we thought it was going to be Cora, and I feel like Roxanne has kind of surpassed Cora in that aspect. I don't think she is the focus that she was at one point. Justin, do you have anything to say about Toxic Attraction? The greatest female faction in the WWE?
I put that whole entire thing as a gargle kind of moment right now, because I'm leaving it for after I see this tag match next week, because when they immediately announced that they were going to go challenge for the tag titles, I went, shit, well, that kind of disappointed me. But then literally days, I just sat and thought about it. And I'm like, there's so many different options you have after that it's like, it might not waste her contract. She might still have it. She could end up being a double champion. You could end up putting the title on. You could have them end up taking the tag titles. You could end up putting the titles on Caden and Katana finally. You could finally have Roxanne win the singles title. You could have Nikita win the singles title. Like, you have so many different options here that it's like, that's why I put it as a gargle moment, because it's like there's so many options you have now.
I know you've got your Dr. Umar blinders on for Nikita. I don't know that I do anymore, Reek, but I know you do.
That's not me. That's my co-host. Listen.
So what was that reaction I just saw on your face when as soon as he said her name?
That was excitement.
You got the biggest boner I have ever seen on this wrestling podcast.
That's excitement, bro. That's engorging excitement. Like, I've said this on the show multiple times. When it comes to Nikita, I need Dr. Umar to shut what we call the fuck up, because that is not changing. I'm not altering my stance on it whatsoever. I'm here for everything Nikita Lyons, and that's not going to change. Point blank, period. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Anything else on Toxic Attraction, Caden Katana, or Cora and Roxanne before I give my next swallow?
I mean, did you see Gigi in that dress?
Dude.
Damn.
Dude. Listen, I am a happily married man, but I may consider divorce should Gigi ever just say hi to me. So, and when my wife hears this, I still love you and I apologize.
You got that.
She also knows that. So,
Mrs. Fields pound cake, bro.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like we could make a throuple work if you're willing to put in the work. I am, baby. So, I'm just saying. My next swallow is Vince trolling by making his farewell tour rounds and just showing up to say random dumb shit. So we talked about what he did last Thursday, but he just showed up on Raw and he's like, John Cena is the greatest superstar of all time and he'll be back, and then fucking left and then skipped down the stairs like nothing was wrong, which led to a bunch of fantastic memes that I enjoyed the shit out of. My favorite one being the one Powerbomb Jutsu posted of Vince doing Thriller. That is still my favorite to this point. But Vince
I missed that one.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I got it. But yeah, no. Vince just being like, all right, well, if you're gonna take me out, I'm just gonna keep showing up just to fucking show up and see what you guys do about it. I forgot that NXT was pre-recorded. I kind of hope that Vince showed up and just said some dumb shit on NXT too. Like, and if it wasn't pre-recorded, I think he might have. If he just showed up and he was like, "No, this is what NXT is," and then just left, like it would have been fucking fantastic. Him just showing up for no fucking reason other than he's Vince McMahon and can. Huge swallow.
Yeah. The thing is, right? I was laughing when he just showed up because it's like, damn, we're doing this again. But it was when he was leaving. Like, the man almost died trying to leave the ring. Like, I had flashback to fucking 05 when he tore both his quads coming into the ring. Like, this man like had the meanest stumble. He talked to the cameraman like, I'm good, watch out. And then jumps off the stairs. Like, what's really up with you, bro? Like, you just throwing all the fucks out the window now. They say, listen, if I'm gonna go down, I'm just gonna, get every last laugh I can out in front of the people before I go down.
Basically.
Oh man.
Reek, what is your next swallow this week?
I'm gonna get to the one you're gonna love. Legado doing Legado things. That's what I wrote down. Listen, if you're gonna ask for a weapon, you gotta be ready to move when it gets in there. He didn't move in time. You know what I'm saying? He threw the nucks in there. My man didn't get to him in time. He got caught. You can't be mad, man. You can't be mad. He asked for it. Legado was doing their jobs as part of the family, which, listen, we know what's coming. We know what's coming. It's going to be West Side Story Part 2, and it's going to happen from within. He's going to, there you go. He's going to crumble the Don from the inside because the Emperor reigns over all. That man is so over, it's ridiculous.
Okay. So first off, fuck you. Second off, big spit. Like, have you ever played catch with your dad, Reek? Like, you guys ever go out and throw a baseball?
Yeah.
Okay. Did your dad ever like throw a wide one and then blame you for not catching it when he clearly threw it like way wide?
Technically, no.
No. Okay. Because I'm trying to figure out where this complex of clearly seeing Santos throw it past Tony and then trying to give this man credit came from. Like, maybe you just have childhood abuse where you're like, oh yeah, no, that was a good throw, Dad. You're right. My bad. Like, that was a terrible fucking throw. He did it on purpose. He cost Tony the North American title. The Don should be motherfucking champion right now, and he is not, because Santos is a shady person who does not live up to his obligations. You lost the match. You had your chance. You fucking lost. Not only that, he got our Don hurt. Our Don is now injured because of that and will be out. It fucked up the family so bad, Troy went out and got fucking high and lost his job. Electra Lopez is somewhere doing something we don't even fucking know. I hope you're right. I hope we get War Games, and I hope we get what Katie asked for. I hope Electra Lopez comes back, and I hope Bianca Corelli joins the family, and it is the family and Bianca versus Legado and motherfucking Electra Lopez in an intergender fatal four-way War Games match, and Tony and whoever, Giovanni or whoever the fuck he finds to replace Two Dimes because he popped bad and lost his job, whoops the fuck out of Legado for stealing the North American. Mello almost missed. He almost lost that title. I'm just saying that. Listen, I have been on this whole kick where I look at NXT 2.0 as the NXT version of the new generation in WWF. I talked about it. I put it on TikTok. This and that. Mello and Diesel, or Mello and Trick, are HBK and Diesel from the new generation. I'd say Solo's kind of like I don't know, like Bret Hart maybe, or Razor Ramon. I'd say Mello's the Razor Ramon of that section of the new generation. I'll give him Razor. However, the Don, I don't know who in the new generation he would mimic, but it's somebody that held the championship. It's someone that held the WWF championship, and he deserves to be respected. That man will be NXT champion, and he will rule NXT.
I mean, I put the match as a swallow too. I just put the finish as a freaking spit because terrible freaking ending. Like pointless to put them together for no reason now. 3 weeks to put them together and that's it.
Katie, do you have my back here? Because I know how you feel about Carmelo Hayes, so I'm just wondering if I'm going to get gangbanged here.
Ooh.
First
Ooh.
of all, I love me some Carmelo Hayes because
We know you do.
like, can you blame me?
But you're also a Tony stan.
I do love me some Tony D'Angelo. The match, fantastic. I don't know how I feel about Santos costing Tony. I had a feeling it would happen. As long as I get my intergender War Games match, I'll allow it. If I don't get my match out of this, fuck this. All I want is intergender wrestling. This is the time.
Fucking
So
disrespectful. Not you.
I was like, excuse me.
Santos in general. Disrespectful.
Yeah, he really said, "You want your knucks? Go get them."
Thank you, but that's
There
all I
was
said.
it was nowhere near him. He's no.
You
no,
said
He's-
Tony missed him. He didn't even slide him anywhere
right
near him.
to Mello. He slid him right to Mello.
I did. The Don got to move faster than that. So listen.
No.
So he
He
clearly
slid
looked him
them
in the
shits
eyes and went,
right to Mello.
Look. You got to be quicker than that.
I cannot wait till we meet in person one day. You are not going to see it coming. I'm going to throw something right at your face, and when it hits you, I'll be like, "Got to be quicker than that." Maybe it'll be a double-ended dildo. Maybe I'll just whip it over there. Boom. Got to be quicker than that. Sorry, Reek.
Make his ass come to Chicago at the end of August, like everyone else.
Oh
my
man.
Oh fuck, that'd be so funny.
"Holy shit."
Justin,
Oh, man.
what is your next swallow?
I've got Zack Sabre Jr. on Dynamite. Zack Sabre Jr. on Dynamite and this mystery opponent that Brian has for him.
Okay.
Again, it's, the speculation is all Claudio Castagnoli and all this other thing, but it's like, give me Claudio, give me Jonathan Gresham, give me Johnny Gargano, give me whatever you want to give me. I am all in for this match at Forbidden Door. I don't care who it is. I'm all in for it.
I think Katie froze.
Did I?
She heard Jonathan Gresham and she was like, wait a second.
She froze on my screen. I can hear her, but she is not moving. Oh, there she goes. Now she is.
She's
I was
moving.
like, I've been moving. The fuck?
Watch the video back. You are making a very funny face, and you're sitting like the entire time.
God damn it.
I'm with you on that. Brian Danielson's announcement, him telling us, hey, I found somebody to fight Zach Morris Jr. And I'm not going to fucking tell you who it is. I came out of the heel tunnel. I'm all for it. I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Zach
Morris Jr.
Oh my god! You couldn't even give him a name with an S. It had to be Zach Morris.
Sir, the only people that get credit are those that are part of the Great Okan's United Empire.
You could have called him Sabretooth.
I love
Sabretooth. I thought about like Sabre hummus. I thought about that, but
I
went with Zach Morris Jr. I enjoyed that too.
Zach Morris Jr. is great.
He's a pretty white kid. Why not?
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I'm swallowing that as well. Like, I enjoyed that whole thing, especially Daniel Bryan being like, I'm not gonna fucking tell you guys who I came out of. Like, don't you pay attention? I came out of the heel tunnel. Like, no, I ain't telling you shit. I ain't telling Zach Morris Jr. shit. You guys will find out by the pay-per-view. Show up at the United Center. Come to Chicago if you want to know. So,
I mean, definitely swallowing. What do you call him, Zach Morris Jr.?
Yeah,
Morris
say by the
Jr.
bell.
I know. Just making sure. I'm swallowing him showing up, but I'm spinning the fact that Brian's hurt because that fucking sucks. Because he was supposed to have this match with Zach, and it was gonna be great. Now, hopefully, we get Claudio, which is what I want. But he was also gonna be in Blood and Guts. So, which, like, I guess I'm kind of okay with. because now it's for sure going to be Wheeler Yuta in the match, and Kyle deserves to be in that match. So it just sucks that Brian's hurt again, because he was on a nice stretch of time where he wasn't hurt and he was okay. It's those damn white t-shirts.
It's the damn ramps that apparently don't touch the ring.
That too.
Which is
I feel like if you ask YK Wrestling, they'll tell you that it is the lack of accountability for the health care of the employees under a certain corporation, which I don't necessarily agree with on the behalf of a certain stuntman who has made his own choices in multiple corporations. Not their responsibility. He's going to do his own dumb shit. He always has. Neither here nor there.
Just for clarification, I hold him responsible for his actions. What we said was, as soon as he got to AEW, was that's the worst place for him to go because they have no accountability. And if he falls into those habits again, no one's going to be throwing, any type of real responsibility on him to get his shit together. So,
and they suspended him without pay until he's sober and good to go.
Shocked the shit out of me. So, hey, I can say I've been wrong before.
Katie, what's your next swallow? By the way, I'm still on Raw. You guys are already on fucking Dynamite. Like,
I have one more for NXT.
I have another for Raw. Well, when we get to me, but
just bouncing all over the place at this point. So.
I'm swallowing Andre Chase U, Thea Hale. I love this. She's great. She's also from Pittsburgh, so she's fantastic. And the whole her and we call him Blonde Bo Dallas.
Yes.
Love that. This is fantastic. This is like the little comedy stuff, but I also know that this is going to be a good addition because Andre Chase slowly started growing on me, which is weird. I just like it. I don't know. It makes it a little fun. It doesn't have to be serious.
Listen,
I hated Andre Chase. I thought that was the dumbest fucking thing. He has grown on me.
What?
I was just like a teacher gimmick. Why? But like,
I started off so like I never hated Andre. I started off just real mom on it. Like, oh, I don't know what this is. But after a couple of weeks, I just like I'm to the point where like if you're not down with Chase, then fuck you. Like, no, that's genuinely how I feel.
This football coach, math teacher, history teacher thing was not working for me when he was a heel. Since he became a babyface, fantastic. Amped up the comedy, made me enjoy it.
Yeah, once he did that whole the first like teacher segment when he had the board up and dude said something out of turn, he started cursing him out. I was like, I'm with it. I'm with it. This is it. This is it. Because he don't give no fucks, and I love it.
Love the roll call during his matches too, where he does the "give me a say" thing and just starts doing the call. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hell yeah.
My next swallow should be of no surprise, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Riddle losing to Omos, not qualifying for Money in the Bank because fuck that bitch. And then on top of that, after running his mouth and trying to find some pot smoke filled loophole into getting a rematch with Roman, which you lost the fucking match, you don't get one, saying he was going to go in Money in the Bank and talking shit about American Psycho Seth Rollins, gets his ass whooped for talking shit about American Psycho Seth Rollins. So not only did you get smashed by the Tribal Chief on Friday, you lost to Omos and got your ass whooped by Seth Rollins. Riddle is down bad and Ritter is up big, ladies and gentlemen, swallowing all of that.
I'm a big fan of Matt Riddle, but I will always go Ritter over for reasons.
The only way to go.
I'm just down to see Omos in Money in the Bank because there's going to be some crazy spots in it. And I will say this again: the size of this man is underestimated. I've said it multiple times already. Nick Zilla needs a step ladder to get up there and take that briefcase down. He does not need a ladder.
He doesn't even need a step ladder.
Give him a stool, give him a chair, and just open it up. That's all he needs. He does not need a ladder.
No.
That man is inches away when he is in full extended reach.
That's gonna be fucking weird to see. like just big ass man and a bunch of tiny dudes in that ring, I'm gonna be just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, crazy shit. Put him on top of somebody's shoulders. That's all I need to do. Play chicken. He'll get there. He'll get there real fast.
There is literally nobody else, not Drew, not Sheamus. If you put Drew on Sheamus, I don't care if you had fucking Hornswoggle on Omos's shoulders, they would not reach. What's your next swallow, Reek?
I have Ciampa on Savage Time because I don't understand why, but I don't care because like my dude just says if you're in the ring for whatever segment it is, you got Miz TV or you're feuding with Theory, whatever it is. If I catch you in the ring when I get there, I'm stalling on you. He just keeps on doing that. This week it was AJ. He's gotten Ali and I forget who else it was, but it's
Riddle?
like week after week. Riddle. It's like week after week. He's just picking somebody, just saying, "Oh, you in the ring? Beep! Catch you one time." Like I don't know what it is. I don't know where we're going with it, but I love it. I'm all for the negativity.
And not just Ciampa back on his bullshit, which I know some people don't like, and I understand that. Like you want to see heel Tommaso Ciampa, the heel NXT Tommaso Ciampa. You want to see him wrestle matches and get wins and do things. I get that. But if WWE is not going to give us that, him just coming out and fucking up random people I'm all good with, on top of it being AJ, who is a huge star for him to feud with, on top of the fact that he attacked AJ after we got more discussion about Mrs. Tiny Balls from AJ, and more discussion about Mrs. Tiny Balls is also a big swallow for me and that whole segment.
Balls, and more balls, apparently.
We didn't get Maurice out there touching his balls and talking about the different sizes his balls grew as he gave her more disappointing looks, but more talk about his balls. And he's like, this is not going to be a thing. Like, I enjoy hearing all of the wrestlers tell us how tiny Mrs. Balls are, and then AJ getting fucked up. So I'm with you on that, Reek.
Yeah, that's good.
It's Ciampa. He doesn't care. He literally ruined a friendship with Johnny Gargano because why the fuck not? It was his time, and that led to one of the best feuds in NXT. Ciampa's gonna come around, fuck people up, and be like, "All right, bye." Good for him. I love Tommaso Ciampa, so keep doing him. And if we get a feud with AJ, fuck yeah.
Yeah, there was a time where we weren't even supposed to get Ciampa on the main roster. So the fact that he's there and he's doing something consistently week after week, fucking be happy and call it a day.
I agree. Justin, what is your next swallow, sir?
We've got Malachi and Penta. Malachi winning. Just I hope to God that man wins that fatal 4-way at Forbidden Door, because Malachi has been just so underutilized in AEW, and it's sad. I want this man to win the title Sunday, so one step away now.
Yes, underutilized, but also way better utilized than he ever was in his main roster run. He is not pretending to be Rey Mysterio's best friend / protege, losing an eye and all of that dumb shit. So while I enjoy everything that Malachi is doing, I definitely do think they could do better by him, but not just that match, because that match was great. But after the match, the promo from motherfucking Miro going scorched earth. I am going to defeat you all and then have your God come talk to me. Like, dude, I honestly, as much as I want Malachi to win, I will not be mad if Miro wins. Like, one of the best things that has happened from a WWE superstar leaving WWE and going to AEW has been what they have allowed Miro to fucking do in the time that he has been healthy to do it. So his injury sucked, him being away sucked, but after he got away from Kip Sabian and he started doing the shit he's doing, fucking love it.
Yeah. The Redeemer is wonderful.
I didn't even write it down, but I definitely said that Miro's promos this week are a swallow. Like the one he did on Rampage tonight over with Pac was in the ring. He's talking about, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to drag the bastards and whatever it was through the forbidden door. I'm like, yo, this shit is just great. Like, I don't know how you can't like this, honestly. Like I've ever since they started the Redeemer gimmick for Miro, it hasn't missed one single time.
Oh yeah, like match and like Malachi and Penta, fantastic match. Miro, incredible. Like he wasn't even in the ring. He said, "I'm gonna school you all real quick, just with a promo." And like he talked about someone who's not even in the match anymore, obviously because injuries and things.
Mhm.
But the Fatal 4-Way is still going to be fantastic. Specifically
Even though
for the
Itchy isn't going to be in it.
Yeah, Itchy's not in
Say
it.
Itchy, no.
Itchy got hurt.
Itchy fucked up
Damn
his
it.
knee, so he's not in the match. The man he beat to be in the match is in the match. But
What's his name?
Clark Connor.
Connors.
Clark Kent. Okay.
Clark Kent.
Damn it. So regardless, this Fatal 4-Way is gonna fucking slap, and I can't wait. And it better just be Miro or Malachi who wins. Pac doesn't need it. I think one of the other two do more. This title is also just weird. It's for many different reasons, but I'll allow the match.
The only weird thing about this title is that they're letting people challenge for it who are not from the Atlantic area, like outside of the Atlantic Ocean and the countries that touch it. You've got people from Japan, which is over in the Pacific, coming over and challenging for an all Atlantic title. Like that's the only weird thing to me. But yeah, no, I'm with you guys. Big swallow on that. Miro, Malachi versus Penta, Pac coming out, them cutting that promo on, or him cutting that promo on Pac. That's probably the match I'm most excited for at Forbidden Door is that Fatal 4-Way match out of everything. That's also because I barely know or give a fuck about any of the other people that are in those matches, and we'll talk about them because they were on Dynamite, and they all have special names, so we'll get to them. But yeah, Katie, what's your next swallow?
So it wasn't gonna be Malachi and Penta. But Wardlow, bro, this man said, "I want the 18 to 49 women demographic." Baby, you got it. You see all these women thirsting for Wardlow? Shit. That man, I give it all. I don't even care. I want this man as the 18 champion. Now, I need Scorpio to be cleared. I want this match. I want Wardlow to hold gold. Daddy Wardlow needs some gold. Damn it. I don't fucking care anymore.
Or Daddy.
Daddy Wardlow. Did you clear this with Daddy DeVille before
Daddy
giving that
DeVille,
title away?
Daddy DeVille is no longer daddy. She lost it.
Oh, this is news. Okay, all right.
She's
So we sitting
been
up
showing her
thirsty for
face.
Wardlow. In the league chat from Tim, he's like, "I'll drink Wardlow's bath water and shit like that." I'm like,
See,
bro, the
this
thirst
is why I love Tim.
insane for him.
Tim fucking gets it.
That is insane.
I fucking love Wardlow.
Oh my god.
I mean, he is a very attractive man. I'm sure the Rack is also a huge fan of Wardlow and all parts of Wardlow. But he's not going to be here tonight, so don't worry, Katie. Don't make that face.
Thank God.
Man, I want to Rack.
My next swallow is actually something Katie pointed out to me on Twitter. Saray went over to NXT UK and channeled her inner Harry Potter, brought up the fact that she's basically Harriet Potter, that she's got a magic medallion and she wears glasses, and that basically everything I've been saying about her is true. She confirmed it on Twitter. It's there. It's a fact. You can go check it yourself. It's Googleable, as TC would say. Go look at it.
It is. As
me
soon
being
as I
right
saw it, I
about
had to tag him.
me being right about Saray being Harriet Potter is my next swallow.
I compared her to a Power Ranger because I was just like, that's her morpher. Because the way she came out like normal and then came out looking like she was ready to fight, I was like, she looks like a Power Ranger.
It's a Horcrux.
Matt leans more towards Harriet Potter because of the glasses.
Yeah.
It's the glasses.
And the clothes and the Horcrux.
It's a
And the
schoolgirl
Horcrux.
uniform, so yeah.
I
It
kind
does.
of thought like with the aesthetic, she had something of a Sailor Moon thing going on, but
Mhm.
no, I like the Power Ranger idea too because it goes hand in hand with it. Yeah,
All the
no, I got a kick out of that because I saw when you tweeted it. It was funny.
All right, Reek, what's your next swallow?
Okay, so maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like out of the 4 years that she's been around, that Rhonda finally cut her good promo, her first good promo, because she just tore Natty to shreds, and maybe that's my disdain for Natty. I tweeted that. Maybe it's my just disdain for Natty and all things that have to do with her. But no, like I started to do what I usually do when Rhonda is on the mic and mute the TV, but there was a stay of my finger. I just didn't press down, and I was like, let's see where this goes. And then he starts talking about, I didn't see your rack out this week, and you got no talent, and the closest you're getting to a main event star is me. I'm like, talk your shit, Rhonda. I'm hearing you. I'm here. I'm listening. I was not critical of Rhonda in this promo. I enjoyed it. Again, could be biased. Could be because I just can't stand Natty and just her being in as many programs as she is, and we have theories as to why that is. But I mean, I don't know. I liked Rhonda's promo this week.
I just say that theory you guys have is incredible. I have to say that is incredible.
It's growing legs. It's growing legs every week, unfortunately.
Because it sounds so convincing. I'm just like, damn, that could legit be like real. When I heard that, I was like, holy shit.
Do you want to put on a jacket or something, Reek?
Ooh.
You, Reek?
No.
Yeah.
No?
You sure?
Why?
Well, we found out before we started the chat that you're the devil, and clearly hell is frozen over, so it's got to be cold in that room with you. I was actually anticipating a fight from you because I also put down that I was swallowing the Natalia Ronda segment. A, because of all the things you said, but B, also, while Ronda may have won the battle on TV, Natalia is whooping her ass on Twitter. And that has been fun as shit. When Ronda came out and said that shit about her discount OnlyFans YouTube channel, and Natty came back and said, I'd rather do sexy content with my sister on OnlyFans than drag people to a rock behind my house and make them cry. Like, I was dying. So the Twitter feud, the in-ring feud is finally slowly starting to catch up to the Twitter feud. And I'm all about that. So
yeah,
I'll swallow it.
Ronda even said it tonight. She even said it. She was like, I'm not used to you not having your chest out. And I was like, damn, Ronda.
Oh, like you got a point.
And she said that she's all natural. I don't know if that means she doesn't shave or if she's just not fake or both, but I can see Ronda having a hairy pussy. I really could.
That sounds about
right. Natural.
It sounds about right.
I feel like that's a thing.
I don't know why it sounds right, but it does.
Oh my God.
I honestly don't think Travis will approve me naming this episode Ronda's hairy pussy. So I think that's a step too far. Really don't think he'll go for that.
They live on a farm. It just all goes together. It just makes sense.
Oh God damn it.
Let's see. So Justin?
I put Kazuchika Okada or Kazuchika Uganda, as you call him.
Somebody's on board. Unlike my
showing up on time. Just the fact that he gave the dirt sheets a big old fuck you by showing up just made me happy as hell.
Anytime the dirt sheets get a big fuck you, it makes us happy, and especially Reek, especially if it's one certain dirt sheet writer. But no, Swiss cheese stays white, showing up, being like, listen, I don't care if we're friends or not. You're not getting a fucking match. Paige, you're not getting a match. I don't know who I'm going to wrestle, but you guys aren't getting the match. And then Hangman ending up fighting off both Swiss cheese and Cole. Cole teasing that he was going to hit Swiss cheese with the belt. Then Katsukuchi Uganda showing up, saving Hangman, And also, we found out that her Mumu and Bingo are showing up at the pay-per-view too for some reason. So
I love the names so much. I love it. I love it. Every time he says itchy, I get itchy and scratchy in my fucking head. And I'm just like,
it's the
damn
Itchy
it.
and Scratchy Show.
They fight. They bite. Bite.
Has Warren Hayes been here? Oh, I'm sorry. Has Mr. Warren Hayes been here when you're talking this shit about New Japan?
Yes,
I
he
need to
has.
see that.
Oh, actually, yeah,
Yes,
he has.
We also DM each other back and forth, and he did tell me that he will not be taking any her Mumu slander if he shows back up. So I may have to adjust that, but he is very happy that I'm a fan of the Great Okan and his faction, the
I just wanna
United
pull up
Empire.
all the New Japan names and just watch Matt give them all different names. That's all I need.
Her Mumu might be my favorite one.
That one is wonderful.
That's
It brings
Listen,
me
Just
so
like
much
Titty
happiness.
Sewer NATO is probably my favorite too.
Listen,
Kitty
I
Sewer
have
is
to do something because you've got, in reality, we'll break kayfabe here for a second. You got a Takakashi, a Takashita, a Takagaki, and a Tanahashi. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to keep these motherfuckers straight? Their names are all basically the same. All
What
right,
was the one
like
you for Hiroki Goto?
Herky Jerky Gato. Herky Jerky Gato.
I love that one too.
So yeah, no, you got to have her Mumu. You've got to have Bingo.
Bingo.
So stupid.
That's how I keep them straight. Otherwise, it's all the same shit. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that whole segment. That was swallow for me.
I was genuinely and yeah, y'all know, as per regulations on Young Kings Wrestling, I don't religiously watch AEW, but I'll catch some clips from time to time, and I myself didn't expect to actually see. I'm gonna call him Okinawa because Uganda ain't working for me. I'm gonna call him Okinawa. I didn't expect him to actually show up, so when I saw it, I was like, okay, good shit. You drew some. You got your demos. Good job, guys. Good job.
See, I was trying to get away from, because like it was Hiroshima Tamagotchi, and I was trying to get away from that, so that's why I went with Uganda instead of Okinawa, because I wasn't trying to like be super stereotypical with the names for Japanese wrestlers. So that's why I went Uganda. But I'm with you on that.
That's Harryoshi.
And we're getting a fatal four-way now, it looks like. So it'll be Cole versus Hangman versus Harryoshi versus Swiss Cheese, all for the title.
See, I wanted a three-way and I got a four-way. I win. I win regardless.
Well, I feel as never mind.
Oh no.
I was gonna say I don't think anyone's ever walked into a situation expecting a three-way and walked away mad that they got a four-way. So
that's kind of where I was going, because since Katie, obviously you have a multitude of choice out there on both sides. I figured four-way is probably more your speed anyway. So that's all I was gonna say.
And Katie, what is your next swallow?
Well, we brought up Hangman briefly. His match with Elias Young was fucking awesome because listen, I love Hangman. I like that Cole is basically just being a little master manipulator that he is. That's why I love him. And just bringing people from Hangman's past or people he has history with and just putting him against them because Cole's still salty. He lost twice. And Jay, I don't remember what you actually call him, basically said
Swiss
that.
cheese, stay white.
Yes.
Stays white.
Swiss cheese. Yeah.
Stays white.
Whatever. He brought up a good point. Hangman did beat Cole twice, so that's why Cole shouldn't have faced him, but he's in the match anyways. So the match, and after the fact, we got Uganda, which popped everybody. My co-host cried a lot, but we got it all. I kind of wish they saved him for the pay-per-view though, just as a surprise, to be like, surprise, now it's Fatal 4-Way. But that's just me.
I wish you guys did pay-per-view recaps and you were doing one for Forbidden Door so you could have me on so I could just sit here and keep correcting her over and over again when she says her names right.
I mean, she's doing a show for her show.
Yeah, she ain't gonna have me on. There ain't no way she would have me on that show.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm actually spitting that because I didn't realize that it was Cole picking these. I'm just like, it's Hangman versus another guy I don't know or give a fuck about. And they tried to make me care by telling me on commentary that back on the indies in Ring of Honor or something that these guys feuded. I'm like, who the fuck is Silas Young? I don't give a fuck about you. I don't need to see Hangman wrestle some dude from his past in matches that I never cared about or watched in a company that AEW bought and is kind of sort of not doing anything with. So like, why should I give a fuck? That's why I was spitting it, because like wrestling history is fantastic if presented correctly. If they had Adam Cole come out and hype that he went and got someone from Hangman's past, someone that is a bitter rival of Hangman, and presented it properly to me and not just waited for Excalibur to like verbally diarrhea context for me during the match, then maybe I would have been like, okay, cool. Like, let's see what this is about. If they had a promo package about their stuff, since they now own Ring of Honor and they could show us some of the brutal stuff that they've been through and have Hangman do that, like that would have been cool. But for me, it was just like some Joe Schmo loser from the indies that Hangman was fighting again.
I mean, I agree with you. They definitely could have gone about it better, but it's AEW and they don't know how to fucking do that in any context. So I'm not surprised they didn't, especially when you own the fucking company where these two fought. You're dumb. Tony Khan clearly was on some shit because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. There was zero. They've added more fucking matches to this card with zero build. He's exhausting.
All right. I'm going to do 2 swallows in a row because they're both small ones, and I'm trying to get caught up to you guys on Dynamite. And Katie's going to hate this one, but the mystery of the red velvet cakes is my last one for NXT. I am very curious as to who the fuck the red velvet cakes are, the dyad. They said that they are former tag team champions. It could be fucking grizzled young veterans. It could be. I'm curious. They're not big enough, but I was kind of hoping like maybe AOP would be cool if they brought AOP back, like something like that. But I am actually very interested. I was pissed off that they didn't reveal them last week, but now that it is not like an ongoing tease thing, I'm back in it. Joe Wayne Gacy, keep teasing me. Keep teasing me with your red velvet cakes. And then also the leader of the United Empire showing up on my TV with his faction and laying out some ass whoopings and brawling on Dynamite. Just the appearance of Great O'Khan on my TV is a big swallow.
Fair.
Reek, what's your next swallow?
So sticking with Ronda, planting the seeds for her versus Shayna. Specifically because I literally just said on Sunday that as part of my rant, I'm like right about to just be free Shayna, let her go because you don't know what to do with her. But then I remembered SummerSlam is coming up, and I said the one thing that y'all could do to salvage this, in my eyes, is to make a match at SummerSlam between Shayna and Ronda. And then right before SmackDown went on, they had a little video of them talking backstage. And Ronda's kind of pissed at Shayna, like about, the whole thing between her and Natty. And Shayna's like, I can't get involved. It's one of my best friends. Natty's my tag team partner. I can't get in the middle of this. And then Ronda just storms off like, oh, just go make your money. Like, if we plant the seeds for that, because, she's already got Natty and Money in the Bank, we can set up Shayna versus Ronda at SummerSlam, and we can start getting back to, what she was supposed to be coming out of NXT. So if that's a direction that we're going, so this is going to be like an optimistic swallow. So if that's the direction that we're going, then I'm happy with that.
Normally I would come in here and I'd be like, hey, Reek, we already talked about Ronda. You're supposed to do all that at the same time, but I'm going to count this more as a Shayna thing. And I'm going to piggyback off that. I'm actually spitting the whole Shayna Raquel tag team match that we got tonight. Raquel and Lacey getting one over on Shayna and Sonya and having Xia Li out there and involving her in their bullshit. And just again, what you talked about on Young Kings Wrestling, the complete and total disregard for who the fuck Shayna Baszler is and the fact that she's playing second fiddle to Sonya Deville. Even though I know Katie wants to swallow Xia Li being on her TV, the fact that Xia was, again, a background character for Sonya. And I saw some people like, make this a badass faction. They're not going to, so I'm not going to swallow it in hopes that they do, because they won't. I'm with you. I need to see Shayna do something significant. She is someone that has the ability and talent to be a great heel champion. As she did it down in NXT, she can do it on the main roster. Letting Lacey and Raquel of all people go over them, no, that's a spit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when Raquel beat her last week, I lost my shit. That was it. Threw in the towel.
Mm-hmm.
Earn her friggin' way too much damn smiling, for God's sake.
Yeah.
She is smiling way too much. It's scary.
To be fair, if you were fucking Braun Strowman, you might be smiling that much too. So
I
No.
don't think that's why, though. I don't think that's why.
not you, Katie, Justin. I was just Justin
Yeah.
specifically.
Well,
Yes,
we
Justin
know
Timberlake.
we know what her preferences are. I mean, we just talked about Xylee. If you put Xylee, Rhea, Wardlow, and Carmelo in the same room as Katie, she might spontaneously combust.
Oh my god, I think that's a dream. Can we, how do we make
Literally.
this happen? Who are our contacts?
Terrible. Why would you do that to her? It's like torture.
Literally,
Oh,
who
yeah.
the fuck do I need to talk to make this happen?
Or what might happen? You ever seen? You saw the first X-Men, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember how dude just like completely turned into a puddle and just splashed out on the complete on the floor? That would be Katie.
That's not fair because it's true, and fuck you.
Can Katie's new nickname be Splash Waterfalls? Can we add that to the list?
We should do that. We should do that.
If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go listen to Ludacris Splash Waterfalls, Katie. Put that on your
I don't
list.
think I want to. No, thank you.
You absolutely do.
It's a good song.
It is a really good song. Is it? Yeah, it's Justin. Justin.
Moxley and Tamagotchi standing in the middle of the ring as all the chaos is happening. Just fucking hysterical. Love how you just get all this chaos and they're just standing there face to face as the show's just ticking away, waiting for the time to go off. And they're just not even making a move. Mox is just shit talking them and Tana's just smiling at him like, nope, that's it. Just hysterical moment to way to wrap up a show.
I actually have that too. Tamagotchi and Mox versus Archer and Jericho, because Jericho lost. Then he got his ass kicked by Wheeler Yuta and Kingston. The president of the Suzuki Weapons Manufacturing Division joining, and then the whole big brawl that they had to go off air, which is very WCW like. But while all of this chaos is going on, you just have Mox and Tamagotchi gazing lovingly into each other's eyes, flirting a little bit. There's a lot of sexual tension there. I'm not sure if we're going to get a match at Forbidden Door or something Pornhub worthy, maybe.
Live sex celebration?
I mean, wasn't he part of the Golden Lovers? Wasn't that a thing? Him and Kenny Omega? Was that
Wasn't
them?
him.
No,
It
was that Uganda?
Dakota.
That was
Dakota
Ibushi.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, Dakota's Bushy. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. They're all the same person.
That's not true.
Tamagotchi,
He's like whispering to him, "Do you wanna go
Uganda,
to dinner after this or
Bushy.
something?"
They're all interchangeable.
They're not.
But yeah,
I do occasionally tap into some of the pay-per-views, and I said this might be one that I watch, and one of the reasons is because of Mox and
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi.
There's a couple on there that got my attention, but this is definitely one of them. So
I'm so happy everyone's playing along.
That's what we do.
Vince
For
is-
sure. We have to.
Vince was here and he was like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not being disrespectful. And I told him, I'm like, I feel like it's more disrespectful that you don't play along with your friend for some guy you've never met to show him respect. Like, if anybody, you should be respecting me and playing along with the show. But Vince is Vince and we love him and we will allow him to do Vince things and I will continue to give him shit for it. So it's fun. Katie, do you have anything about Mox Tamagotchi, the president of the Suzuki Weapons Manufacturing Company, or any of the other stuff that happened there?
I love Murder Grandpa. He's great. The stare down was just interesting because the brawling outside was just so all over the goddamn place, and then just Tamagotchi and Mox just vibing. They're like, there's nothing happening around us. It's just me and you, baby. Mood. But like, also I saw Ortiz bald and I was so surprised. Like I knew he like shaved, but like I caught a glimpse and I was like, who the fuck is that? I was very confused.
Are you sure it wasn't Minoru Suzuki?
No, it was not Suzuki.
Because I feel like they would look very similar.
No. Murder Grandpa walked out. Santana and Ortiz ran out, and I saw Ortiz bald, and I don't like it because Jericho's a bitch. So
I will agree with that. I have also talked about how there are a lot of similarities between WCW and AEW beyond the surface shit, and said that for multiple reasons, include the fact that he is kind of a racist, that Jericho is the Hulk Hogan of AEW in terms of its comparison to WCW, and that Mox might be Macho Man. There was some debate about that. But Katie, what is your next swallow?
I'm moving on to SmackDown. I gotta go Pat McAfee. It's Pat fucking McAfee. We're getting him in another match. It's against Happy Corbin. So like I'm not super happy about it, but I get Pat in another match. Everything Pat McAfee. A big swallow always.
Okay.
I love that man.
I agree with that because of one simple thing, and we said it many times: long-term booking. He called this man bum ass Baron Corbin a year ago at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So this has just been built. This man has been. I'm going to create this theory that this man heard him call him bum ass Corbin a year ago and said somehow, some way, I'm gonna come up out of this and I'm gonna get back to where I need to be, and then I'm gonna come find you. So this man in Vegas came up out of nowhere, got his money back, had a couple dumbass feuds that nobody cared about, but after putting over Madcap Moss, he says, "Okay, SummerSlam's coming up. Now I'm gonna address you, and now we're gonna get that match. I'm in for it."
Yeah, I love Pat
They
McAfee,
both-
so I'm for it.
Yeah.
Am I to believe that you guys are possibly spitting my next swallow since nobody brought it up? Because I'm very surprised. I am swallowing Christian's master plan to get revenge for being eliminated from the Casino Battle Royal, mostly because of what ensued after he revealed that he is just a petty son of a bitch who's pissed off that he got eliminated. And that's why he did all this stuff, because he said he's only here to make a ton of money. Fuck them kids. He said, your mom wants to fuck me, Jungle Boy. I'm not your daddy. Your daddy's dead and would be disappointed of you. In the most, like, that is one thing about AEW I love, is when they go scorched earth, they go scorched earth. And normally it's MJF. In this case, Christian straight up said, I think your mom wanted to fuck me. I know you want me to be your daddy, but I'm not. Your daddy's dead. And if he wasn't dead, he'd be so disappointed in you. Luchasaurus coming out, choking Christian while Christian's begging for his life, and then apparently offered to give him a hand job or some shit, something to get him to let go. He's like, come on, let's go in the back. We'll keep it between us. Nobody has to know. Let me try and work this out with you, bro. And he's like, yeah, okay. And then Christian hugs him and whispers more sweet nothings into his ear before they leave. Probably about how hard Christian was at that point after being choked. Who knows? That whole thing, huge fucking swallow.
Oh man,
That just makes it really uncomfortable because he told him he's like a son-in-law to him, but then likes to be choked, which is even.
Have you ever been on Pornhub? The people that get fucked the most on Pornhub are son-in-laws. Nobody gets more ass on Pornhub than son-in-laws.
That's kind of true.
That is growing by the hour. Like
growing by the second.
Like, literally, you go on the home page and like at least 5 videos that are on that first page are about like in-law shit or son-in-law,
mother-in-law,
like,
daughter-in-law, mother-in-law. Yeah.
No,
nobody gets more ass than in-laws.
True.
And if I can make that the title, I'm going to.
I totally forgot because I did see that I watched the whole promo and like my jaw dropped. It's not because of what he said. It's because I had no idea Christian had this in him. Like I didn't know like dude had stones like this to be talking that way. Like if you watch Christian throughout his whole career, like he's been face, he's been heel, but it's like there's always been seemingly like a ceiling to it. That shit got broke through in this promo. I'm like, yo, I did not know that he had this in his soul. Like, his dude said, your dad's dead. Like, okay, Christian on some different type of time this year. I'm with this. That was beautiful, and I figured at some point Christian would turn, because it's like, how long are you gonna keep babysitting these motherfuckers? But what he's done since then is just like, I don't know. He watching Edge and thinking like, yo, I gotta catch up. He really doing his shit. So, hey man, kudos. That's an A+ for me, for Christian, definitely.
All right. Anything else on Christian talking about dead parents, wanting to fuck Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy's mom wanting to fuck Christian, him being petty as shit?
Oh man.
I ended up spitting it though. Just the beginning half of it. The other half I was all for.
Okay.
The explanation itself, that he was just like, I've been holding it in for a year because you eliminated me in a casino battle royal that hasn't meant shit ever, because nobody who wins the battle royal ever wins anything after that. They just get this title match 2 weeks later on Dynamite and lose. Like, he's literally saying, I held it in for a year because you eliminated me in a match that hasn't meant shit at all whatsoever. And it's like kind of a lame excuse. And I was just like, that's kind of dumb. But after that, the whole going in on him, like, you want me to be your daddy instead, like that, I was just like, that's much better.
I respect that level of petty. So that's part of the reason why I swallowed the first part too. I get where you're coming from and I hear you, but there is a certain level of petty that I just have to respect. And holding that in for a year, just building this man up to crush him over a fucking battle royal elimination, is a level of petty I cannot do anything but respect. Especially one that doesn't fucking matter. It's almost like bum ass Baron Corbin being like, you called me a nickname a year ago and now I'm coming back for you. I spent all this. It's the same energy. It's the same energy as bum ass Baron Corbin. You said something about me I didn't like, and I waited all this time to come up so I could whoop that ass. You hurt my feelings, and now I'm kicking your ass. So
it's kind of true. Also, Christian came out in a turtleneck and like that long jacket, gave off daddy vibes, so I can't be mad at it. But goddamn, he really said, "Yo, fuck Luke Perry. I don't give a shit." I was so caught off guard because a Christian of all people, like Reek said, like he's had a plateau, like he's had a glass ceiling for a long time. Even his shit in like TNA, he was never this fucking savage. But since MJF's gone for right now, somebody's got to take it.
that man basically called Jungle Boy's mom and sister 9021 hoes.
And I like oh yeah, fuck Luke Perry, but you wasn't saying that when you had him on the Edge and Christian show a couple years back. Like, he was salivating at the mouth with a hard dick, and now all of a sudden it's fuck Luke Perry. Oh, okay, all right.
To be fair, he was also salivating in the mouth with a hard dick in this segment. It just wasn't until he got choked. Reek, what's your next swallow, if you have any left?
This is my last one because Katie mentioned Pat already. But the Viking Raiders, whatever they're called, turning heel. I've been lamenting the way that they've been presented on main roster ever since they got there. And 2020, just the way they were booked just made it so much worse. So if we can be serious and present them as real threats, then maybe we can salvage this team and they won't be like the Ascensions and countless other tag teams that were great in NXT, but completely fell apart on the main roster. So, I mean, this is something that's much needed because, with the way the tag team division is set up, the depth on both sides is a little bit wacky. But if the tag team titles are unified, then, you're going to have a pretty solid tag team division there with the Street Profits and New Day. Bring the Viking Raiders back if they're heel. Alpha Academy, like you're gonna kind of get the tag team division going somewhat. But this in particular, because I loved the War Raiders when they were in NXT, and I had the fear of them getting screwed up in the main roster, which they did. But if this is the turning point now, if we're gonna get this thing going, then I'm with it, 100%.
Yeah, you said it all. I agree. It's on my list too. Big swallow there. Hopefully they do something better with it, because they definitely got fisted hard when they made their main roster debut with using the Force and floating turkey legs and we're fat and we're Vikings. Like that shit sucked.
Yeah.
Justin, do you have any more swallows?
I got one more, and it's Nakamura and Zayn on
Okay.
SmackDown. And just match was great. Sammy winning, perfect. Love the interaction with Sammy and Paul Heyman later on. Just, if Sammy won Money in the Bank, I would be absolutely ecstatic just to see what happens.
I'm with that. Also, him wetting his hair and slicking it back like he's Roman Reigns. I thought that was a nice little touch. I enjoyed the shit out of that.
I love Sammy.
Katie, how many swallows you got left?
This is my last one.
Okay, so I got 2, unless you say this one. So we might all be caught up.
Andrade versus FedEx.
Okay.
Why? Why are you looking at me like that?
That was one of them.
I go ahead. That was not one of them. It was not one of them. I'm gonna let her say her piece. I just Los Gobble My Nuts and whatever the fuck they're doing over there. Like I don't get it. I don't know who this other dude was.
I don't care about the outside bullshit.
Yeah,
I cared about the match.
That's gonna be in my spits. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Because these men aren't going to be on the pay-per-view because of some shit with the Mexican promotion they're all in, like Andrade and the Lucha Bros. So they're not going to be on the card. So if I can get a pretty good match, the go home show basically for Forbidden Door, I'm gonna swallow it because I love FedEx and Andrade is good in the ring, and so I'm not going to be mad at it. I wish I could have gotten something cooler on the pay-per-view, but for reasons I understand, so I'm just going to be a little bitter about it, but I enjoyed the match. So
Okay. I mean, it wasn't a bad match. It's just Los Gabo Mis Huevos. I don't understand the whole deal or who they are. So the whole ending kind of fucked it up for me. But I mean, FedEx always delivers, so I'm with you on that.
that was a
My
tie.
last 2, so we're all caught up and we can move on to spits and then close out the show, which I'm surprised no one said, and I feel a little disrespected. Motherfucking Shotzi in the Bank, ladies and gentlemen. Shotzi qualifies for Money in the Bank over Tamina. And anytime Shotzi is succeeding, it is a swallow on the Smackin' Raw podcast because Shotzi Blackheart is fucking fantastic. And I love her. So she gets a huge swallow. Big ups to Shotzi in the Bank. Want to see it. And then also I put down Tully Blanchard Enterprises because, hey, Tully's still around doing shit. I didn't even know Brian Cage was alive, but apparently he is. He's a part of Ring of Honor and part of this. There were 2 dudes. I don't even know who the fuck they were, but they look cool. They're hanging out with Tully. No idea who the fuck those guys are. Yes, Reek?
We know who they are. Me and Katie do.
We know.
Well,
who are
one
they?
of them. One of them. One is Toa Leona. We saw him at Versus when we were out in Vegas. I don't know who the other guy is though. But yeah.
So Taya Leone and somebody else.
No, listen. Toa is a man.
He's a scary motherfucker. We'll
He's
tell you that.
terrifying.
I wouldn't call him
and
Taya Leone to his face, but
he'd probably kill you.
Yeah, nah. Like
No, we fucked with him.
It's a big bad motherfucker. For real.
okay. Reek, go ahead, kick us off with your spits.
Okay. You're gonna love this. Riddle and his swagger jacking has got to stop. Like the move set, all the different Viper stuff and stuff. Now you're taking this man's music. I like. Listen, I can't do it no more. You got to stop. And now he's crying in his promos. Like you sound like a dejected ex. Like I'm about sick of it. Warden's gonna be off TV for quite a while. You know,
Mhm.
if the rumors are true that he's getting back surgery, so we ain't gonna see him for a while. You don't need to keep doing the Dear Johns every single week about Randy Orton. Let it go. You on your own now. Like, handle your business.
What's that line from T-Pain's karaoke? It's something along the lines of, "My daughter wanted me to tell you to get off her daddy's dick."
Yeah.
Hop off Randy's dick. Hop off.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm with that.
Mhm.
Most definitely.
Justin, spit.
I got the Diamond Mine tag match on NXT. Just with even with it was with Legado del Fantasma. Just there was something about those two together that did not work. Just at
Roderick
all. It just
Strong?
felt like the match didn't even pick up either, which sucked. I love Roddy though. The guy's great. It's just he has zero fucking charisma. Guy's an absolute just brick wall.
I'm
He's
just
Dean
tired of
Malenko.
Legado losing. We
Dean
talked
Malenko's
about
a good
this.
actual comparison for him. Actually,
Yeah.
great, but just has no charisma whatsoever.
He don't stand out anywhere. And we talked about this on our show. Like, we're tired of Legado losing. And to lose to the biggest hater in the company right now, and Roddy, and whoever his new partner is now, it's like, for what? What purpose is it serving? Let them keep losing. Let him keep losing so that the Creeds can kick his ass out of here. Like,
We talked about it
fast
on our show
forward, kill
too.
two
We just
birds
said
with one
Roddy.
stone.
We've been saying it too. Roddy just feels like he doesn't fit anywhere really anymore. He wouldn't fit in NXT. I don't know how well he'd fit on the main roster for shit. He doesn't really even fit in AEW at all. Like he'd be so lost there. It's just the guy's in a bad position right now.
Send him to Ring of Honor. I'm with you on that. Like I said, he is the Dean Malenko of NXT. Dean Malenko didn't really fit in the cruiserweight division. And also, if Dean Malenko is the man of 1,000 holds and Roderick Strong is the messiah of the backbreaker, I consider Dean Malenko to be wrestling's Kama Sutra in the fact that he is the man of 1,000 holds. And one thing you say about sex is, I'm going to break your back. So Roddy is wrestling. He is NXT's Dean Malenko. He's the backbreaker. But zero fucking charisma. Zero. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, Roddy sucks. What?
And I'm not a big fan of Damon Kemp either.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What?
Putting him with Diamond Mine is not doing it. So,
like,
Katie, spit.
So I've basically kind of sprinkled my spits throughout.
As did I, but I still have a few.
I basically said all mine. Just again, Riddle, because he fucking sucks. Like again, that's just my biggest spit of all. Is just Riddle in general.
We already spit that, Katie. You know how the show
I know.
works.
I'm just reiterating it again.
I will not penalize you for spitting Riddle again because I am all for spitting Riddle.
Exactly,
But
it's Riddle.
I feel like I gave Vince a lot of shit, so I've kind of got to give you some.
You can give me shit
format.
all you want. I'm gonna reiterate it because he's trash and a waste of time and space.
I'm spitting Bobby's gauntlet match against the Alpha Academy and Austin Theory. I didn't mind Bobby ending the pose down and lubing up Austin Theory. That was kind of a swallow for me because more lube, the better. Like, I'm all for that. Getting some revenge. But him going through this gauntlet match and it being Alpha Academy and it being fucking Austin Theory, like it didn't do it for me at the end. Also, I'd rather see Bobby in a world title than a US title program.
Mhm.
So I'm spitting that. Reek?
Yeah, that's how I feel too, because I don't know why. I know the idea is to prep him if John Cena is the idea for SummerSlam, but we got to do something better for Bobby. But my next spit is no Judgment Day this week at all. Like, I understand Rhea's hurt and everything like that, but you got two of the people in this faction who kind of need this push right now. And, Priest has been, staying consistent since he got in there, but it's like the whole reason you put Finn in there because he needs it the most. And it's like, this just happened 2 weeks ago. And like, again, I get it. You're a man, woman down short, but
Hold
you
on a
could have
second,
cut
Reek.
some of that time out.
Hold
What's
on
up?
1 second. I'll be right back. Katie, if I'm not back, you have my spits, so you can use my spits. Keep going, but I will be right back.
Yeah. So I wasn't a fan of that at all, because I personally, I mean, obviously I'm a huge Edge fan, so Judgment Day had my attention from the jump. But it's like, now that you expanded the group and you cut Edge out, it's like I was more invested, because now I want to see where we're going. But it's like they said Rhea's hurt, so now we're just not gonna show up this week.
I think
Also,
that's why
why?
they put the video
Oh, go ahead.
package up there. I think that's why they put the video package up there. Just so it's like, hey, don't forget about Judgment Day. But it's like they're on main event, apparently,
They were.
which is just like a bad sign already.
Oh yeah, I don't like that.
That's rough. Like,
And
Um,
Judgment Day took
was
me out
what.
when they turned on Edge. But now I'm just like, so I'm like indifferent now on it. And I'm just
Well,
like,
see,
where do I jump back into this? Like, shit.
I like that. I like that they swerved us. But my thing is that I didn't want it to. I never wanted it to be one of those groups that's like, okay, well, Edge is here, and that's the reason why it's afloat. As soon as he gets out of it, then all of a sudden it's going to fall by the wayside. It's going to dissolve and shit like that. That's one thing I was concerned about. But it's like, if you have a guy like Finn, in there with two younger talent that are still coming up, it's like they should be able to make it work. But it's like, if they were our main event, that's not good at all. It's not.
I also just don't know why either of them haven't been in a qualifying match for Money in the Bank. Like, what the fuck? So dumb. Like, Omos doesn't need to be in Money in the Bank.
No.
You could have had Finn or Priest take his spot.
I should have known Reek would have filled the time while I had to really take a piss.
Yeah. But I like your notes.
Closer. And also, fun side story. So when I got married, my best man told a story about how he knows me so well, he knows what he called my pee-pee dance. And you will see that if you watch the show. For the last 2 minutes before I left, me dancing in the chair because I had to pee so bad, waiting for a spot where I could tell Reek to hold on. So yeah, Easter egg, go look for that. Figure out my pee-pee dance. That'll be fun for you guys. But I'm back now. Justin, what's your next spit?
I had freaking Tarzan, fucking Von Wagner. Just get him off my TV. Fuck off with fucking Tarzan, man. He's
Jurassic
Tarzan.
Jim.
I call him Tarzan now because literally he's Tarzan. Sophia Cromwell is Jane. Like, perfect fit right there. Just fuck off with him. I can't stand him.
And yeah, that was next on my list is Jurassic Jim getting the win, Prehistoric Paul,
Stone
Ancient
Age
Andy,
Steve.
Stone Age Steve, or Stanley.
White Khali.
BC Bob.
I was using a lot of the names you were using that one time.
We got
I
a
was just like,
lot.
holy shit. Love it.
Mhm.
We got a lot.
Katie, do you want to borrow any of mine, or I think the next one is a good one for you to say out loud.
You want me to read it verbatim?
Yes, please read it verbatim.
Okay. And I quote, Kyle O'Reilly sucking young buck dick because Cole and Fish are hurt. I mean,
We literally sat here and watched this feud where it was like, we love Adam Cole more. No, we love Adam Cole more. No, I suck his dick better. No, I suck his dick better. And now all of a sudden, Adam Cole's kind of sort of injured, maybe in like a different feud with Swiss Cheese and Hangman, and Bobby Fish gets hurt. So Kyle O'Reilly's like, well, I guess I'm a lot of dicks to suck. Hey, Young Bucks, how's it hanging? Like, and now he's best friends and buddies and everything's cool. And they never really resolved their issues. So like, because the issues never got resolved. And then he called, you're literally a tag team and you called them the greatest tag team of any generation. Not only do I take issue with you calling them the greatest tag team of any generation, what about your own fucking tag team? What about you, motherfucker? Yeah, go ahead.
Apparently, from things I've seen online, Kyle O'Reilly is also now hurt.
You'll never
Oh,
guess
yeah.
what it is.
I didn't actually see what it was.
Oh, guess what it
Yeah, I didn't
is?
either.
He's got a swollen testicle.
Man.
Yep.
See, that kids is what we call symmetry.
And
So
a
what?
perfect
So,
demonstration to put that kind of stuff on this show.
so what you're telling me is he may or may not have an STD from sucking young buck dick. STI, I guess, would be a sexually transmitted injury.
Okay. Sure.
Infection. I don't know.
We'll let it play
God.
out. Sure. Go ahead.
My next one is the can they coexist Drew McIntyre Sheamus versus the Usos to qualify for Money in the Bank. I actually enjoyed the match. I just hate that we went hey, you guys both didn't qualify, so now can you get to, if you can get along together and win, then we'll put you, like, it's so fucking played out. That whole trope is so played out. The match was great. They qualified, no shit, so we wasted like 10 minutes of fucking SmackDown in the beginning and another 15-20 minutes at the end for basically what we already had when we started the show.
Indeed,
Good job, WWE.
indeed. And that actually that kind of goes hand in hand with my next bit. Because mine specifically was Adam Pearce's lack of sack. Because this was said, I think, 2 years ago, and it still rings true today. The Hurt Business, it was something that had to do with them, and Cedric went right up to him and said, "Where is your sack, Pierce?" And it continues to ring true. The man made a decision last week, and it was supposed to be final. And then he comes out and says that because of Paul Heyman's influence now, the board has made a decision, and it is my duty to inform you that neither of you are qualifying for the match. It's like, bro, like, put your foot down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be a bitch about it. You know what I'm saying? Now, he slightly redeemed himself later on when Karen DeVille showed up, bitching and complaining about not having a match, which I don't know when she's been on SmackDown for several weeks, because we've only, as far as, her authority being up and her being a competitor again, we've only ever seen her on Raw. I don't know when she got moved to SmackDown, but, brand split. Wink, wink. But, no, like, she came in there, doing what she does as a Karen, and he finally said, all right, you know what? You want to talk your shit? You got a handicap match now. But, no, the lack of sack is really a bad look for you, bro. It's been, I don't know, 3 years running now. You gotta get it together. You gotta grow some.
Well,
You can't be calling yourself Scrap Daddy and not having no scrap. You know what I'm saying?
True. To add on to that, Adam Pearce is also my last spit, because due to Adam Pearce, I am not getting my juices titillated 2 weeks in a row. He can't do his job, and my juices are not getting titillated, and I'm not fucking happy about it. I want to be titillated. I really do.
That's the last one I have on the list. I have the whatchamacallit, Max Male Models cock tease 3 weeks in a row. Because it's like you just the way that you're saying it, the juice is getting titillated and the camera pans into his face. It's like, why are you doing? Some people are getting excited from this. Why are you depriving them every single week? Like, you're gonna have an epidemic of blue balls, and you've already got enough stuff going on with your company right now. You want an epidemic of blue balls on your conscience too? Like, come on now, they gotta stop it.
Justin, do you have any more spits this week?
Honestly, not really. Like, other than the handicap match, like on SmackDown, again, everything led up to that just was awful. Like Sonya's handicap, like it almost felt like they had this whole thing where they tried to do the Naomi Sonya thing all over again. With that, like they tried to make like you feel bad for Sonya. It's just weird. I was over it. I didn't give a damn.
All right. Well, if everyone's out of spits and swallows,
I have one.
Just
one last one.
I thought you said okay. Go ahead.
I got one last spit. another Andrade tag team faction, whatever, because that's been another thing I've been on, is that we don't see Andrade enough. And then it's like when we do see him, you're throwing him in a tag team, you're throwing him in a faction, you're having to take over somebody else's faction. And now here he had a banger of a match, and then you're throwing him in another, whoever this dude is, y'all got a faction, y'all got a group together again. Like,
Moulin
I'm
Rouge.
sick of this. Whoever. Like, I'm sick of this shit. Like, stop giving him a one match every 3 months quota. Promote him like a fucking star. Let him go by himself and call it a day. Like, I don't need this shit. We got enough tag teams and factions in that company as it is. Like, stop putting the dude that I want to see go with somebody else. Shit is annoying.
I'm with you.
Broke up a faction he was in to put him back in a faction. Like, what is that?
Right? The fuck?
There's pussy play with my feet. Sorry. And it's evil pussy and it's going to attack and I'm not for it. So Fritz, leave me the fuck alone. I'm doing a show. No, I'm with you. Los Cabos Mi Huevos, Moulin Rouge, that whole thing. I get that it's a thing and it exists. I'm not familiar with it. As Justin said, people that don't know what's going on are losers. By the way, he actually sent me a voice text message and be like, I wasn't talking about you, right, bro? I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm just giving you shit. So now I've got to give him shit on the show. So Justin called me a loser on the latest episode of Get Yo Podcast. If you want to hear that, go check it out. Not directly, but indirectly talked about me. Though he said he didn't. So it's there. Justin, what was your favorite show you watched this week, bro?
I'm gonna say Dynamite.
Dynamite. All right.
Yeah, it got me back into wanting a little bit more excitement for Forbidden Door.
Do you want to wait, Katie? You look confused. Okay, Reek, what was your favorite show you watched this week?
I'm probably gonna go with Raw. Yeah. They got enough that I didn't hate this week, so
I am actually Camp Reek this week because of the downfall of Matt Riddle. That put it over the top for me. So I'm Raw was my favorite show this week. Katie,
you know what? Bandwagon, Raw.
Okay, bandwagon and Raw. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Justin, thank you for coming on and being on time, in time, however you want to put it. I appreciate it. Let everyone know about the Just in Time or the In Time podcast, Brothers of Destruction, as I've heard it be called, and the In Time podcast.
I mean, we originally were doing 2 days, multiple different episodes, kind of cut it down to 1 day a week, just talking everything as much, go in depth on on the major things, just kind of forget the smaller things, just kind of here and there with it. That's it. It's just, but now we're breaking into classic reviews now, and just it's just a wrestling podcast at that point. That's like I put in the description for it. Another wrestling podcast. I know, such a shocker, but it's that's all it is. We just have fun. It's me and my brother just talking wrestling.
And if you enjoyed Justin here today, you guys should definitely go check that out. Also, you can see him frequently with the World Elite Pod, Front Face Lock, Wrestle Index, all those guys over in the League of Extraordinary Idiots and the streams that they do. And he's very fun and talented over there as well, which is why I brought him on. Also, he's always been good to me despite his terrible taste in women's wrestling. So I had to bring him in here for that. Not taste, opinions. Katie, Sheelite, shit show stuff.
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at KatieRowson13. Linktree in my bio. Take all things Sheelite Showcase. Twitch.tv/Sheelite Showcase. Typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Except when I'm in Vegas. I don't actually know when the fuck we'll do a show. It'll happen Thursday. YouTube. I always say watch the video. It's way more entertaining. Audio. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. She leads the weekly recap we do. Inside the Mind of is an interview series I do. Matt and Rick have both been on it. It is returning after I get back from Vegas with Heel Tactics. Justin, finally, we're getting that situated. I've contacted people to get shit situated. I'm returning to the show that I actually wanted to fucking do. In the Crowd is a collab show, game show thing that I'm doing. Kind of, I don't know. It's also on hiatus. I'm busy. I don't fucking know. And my co-host Savannah has a New Japan show, New Japan Takeover. She talked about Dominion. She's gonna talk about Forbidden Door. Go, it's all over there. There's a lot happening over there. Go do the thing.
Go do the things. Mr. Tariq Yates, have you talked to your co-host about if he's ever gonna fucking watch Scream so we can do the shit?
I'm going to do
Jesus.
that tomorrow because I should be good to go tomorrow night. So I need to squeeze something in. By the way, as he mentioned, well, first off, you can find me at Recavy24 on Instagram and on Twitter. Also, go check out the Havoc Hour, which he was referring to, where I talk sports and entertainment. I've affectionately referred to Matt and Katie as my cinema panel because they're on there the most, where we talk more specifically horror movies, but movies in general. But I also have sports as well. So all that content is up on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, all streaming platforms where you find Smackin' the Raw and a multitude of Katie shows as well. But also, me and my boy TC, you can find us at Young Kings Wrestling everywhere, including Instagram, because they are such hoes that they deleted the previous page. So we have at YK Wrestling back. It's just under a new page now. But also can find us on all streaming platforms as well, including the YouTube where we have the video versions up. A lot of content up. Also at YoungKingsWrestling.com, we have those NWO inspired Black Lives Matter tees that Matt talked about in the beginning. All proceeds are donated to a charitable cause, go directly to families that are affected by police brutality and injustice. Now goes to the Black Lives Matter organization directly because we don't fuck with them. Did I forget anything? Nope, that's it.
And as always, you can follow me at MTTRIDDR on Twitter only, Twitter and Instagram, Smackin' Raw Pod. I run the Twitter, Vince runs the Instagram. Creation World is the banner in which the Smackin' Raw podcast exists. You can follow them at the Creation World, THECREATIA World, on Twitter and Instagram, creationworld.com, facebook.com/Creation World, facebook.com/group/Smackin' Raw. And if you're listening to this podcast, you probably know all that shit, but I appreciate it. And if you want to hear me talk about horror movies in a non-traditional sense, go check out the latest episode of Botched Spots and Chair Shots. I call them something else and I almost fucked that up. Where we talk horror movies and waffles, and me and Will sit down and make comparisons to some of our favorite wrestlers and wrestling personalities and their horror movie counterparts, as well as a slew of other things. So please go check that out, because if you do and you like it, maybe he'll have me back on to do it again. And I would like that. So do that. Yeah. And also I'm a little more serious on that one. So way less dick jokes. We talked a lot about balls tonight, so I feel like balls has to be in the title somehow.
Has to be.
Balls, more balls.
For the Shaman of Sheely, Miss Katie Kinsey Bay, Just in Time, and the Dr. Reek Baker, BBC. I am the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub.